the user setting page. So this is technically where you add, edit, or delete an employee's profile. So how to add an employee? Very simple. Just click on the add user button, enter the details that is needed or required in here. So as you can see, there are some fields that are just optional, so you can just leave it blank if you don't want to put anything in it. So we have the full name, username, password. The digit ID is the ones that will be served as a pin code for your employees when they try to clock in and out using a pin clock. This will also serve as their QR code and barcode. So our system would generate a QR code and barcode depending on the digit ID that you have input here, and then that's the one that our system would generate. You can just print it out and then hand it over to your employees so that they can clock in or clock out using their barcodes or QR codes. Then we have the employee number, the email address. So the email address is required for admin accounts or admin users, but for managers and employees, it is just optional. And then we have the overtime rule, the hard date, the full whether the employee is full time or part time, the rate type, and then the pay rate. And then the next we have the time zone rule. So let's say for example your company is working worldwide, so you can select whether you use the same time zone rule that is applied to everyone in the company, or you can select use other time zones so that you can see the local time that your employee has clocked in and out. So select the city, state the employee resides, and then you should be good to go. Then we have next is the department. So this is where you just assign the employee to an existing department. And then we have the roles where you can see whether an employee is an employee, a manager, inactive or technically archived, and then admin. So below that, you will see boxes here. So these are permissions. So you just check which ones you would allow the employees or the admins or the managers to be able to access. The next thing we have the camera here. You will see the option not required, use company setting, or all required. So all required means in all situations when they try to clock in and out. So as I mentioned on the other video, if you enable this feature, then the employees will need to use their webcams or their mobile phone's camera when they clock in and out, and then it will snap a picture. The next thing we have is auto launch deduction. So we have that one on the company setting page as well. So you have the option to enable and disable this feature here. So as you can see, if it's in yes, you can select how many minutes will be deducted and then after how many hours it should take effect. We have the clock time limit, so this one would only be able to turn on if you don't have any shifts. So if you enable these features, it would record the first time that you have placed in here and then the set time here. So let's say for example, if earlier than 9 a.m., then the set clock in time will be 9 a.m. So it doesn't matter if they arrived and clocked in at 8:55, the system would record it as 9 a.m. The same thing for clocking out. If they clocked out later than 6 p.m. here, then the system would still record it as 6 p.m. So we have no break clock out. So if you don't want them to be clocking in and out, or you want to see if they have taken their breaks or not yet, then you can use this option. So if the employee has continuously worked after 5 hours without a break, they would need to coordinate with the supervisor or the admin or the manager of the account. So we have the base photo. So you upload a photo, a high definition photo of the employee here so that it can be used for the facial recognition when clocking in and out, or you can just simply use your webcam or your phone's camera to capture a live image. And then the rest of the option here is just optional, so you can leave it blank or you can enter details here. So once you're done, you click add. The same thing as when clocking in. If you have successfully added an employee, a green check mark indicator would appear. If you have not, if you have left some necessary fields empty, it should redirect you or lead you back to that page or to that part. As you can see here, there's a message, please input full name. Then we have add and next. That means you will go back to the same page, an empty page like this one, and then you can proceed to add another employee. So once we add a new employee, the employee's profile should appear here right away. So as you can see here, there's a department, there's a full name, username, the employee number, as well as the digit ID. So you can input anything in here. So if you see any misinformation here, you just click edit, and then you will go back to the page that we were before, and then you can just edit out the misinformation that you have saw. Then we have copy, so that you can copy the information of the employee's profile, and then you can just paste it either on an Excel file or a Microsoft Word. And then we have an archive button, in which technically you're setting the role of the employee to inactive, so it would hide the employee's profile and they won't be able to access it as well. Now if you want to restore an archive employee, so you just click on the show archive users, and then there should be a profile that would appear here if there's any archive employee, and there's an option whether to delete or unarchive the employee's profile. So delete if you want that employee's profile to be removed completely on the system, and then unarchive if you want to restore that employee's profile. The next we have the print barcode. So as I have mentioned, if you have a digit ID registered, you would have a barcode and a QR code ready for you to be printed out. So we just click print barcode, just select 2D for QR code, 1D for barcode, and then click OK. And then this should be what you will see, a print preview page of the QR code and barcode. And then you just click the print button, and then it should be good to go right away.